Welcome back to Mini Lessons with Miss H, and today we're doing the story Taking Care of Tag. And we always review the spade strategy because what are we practicing for the third grade? How to do the spade strategy. I've been noticing, I've been grading a lot of these stories, and some of you are making the mistake of just reading the story and going by memory and answering the questions. And sometimes you get lucky, okay? And sometimes you get them all right. But there's other occasions, other times where you get 2 wrong out of 3 or 1 wrong out of 3. So if you got 1 wrong out of 3, you're already at a C grade. And there's no reason why we should be getting any C's when we're following the spade strategy, okay? First thing we always do is survey the text. We examine the title, right? We look at the text features like the title, illustrations, or photographs. Then we write a prediction. A lot of us are not writing our predictions. What's the point of writing a prediction, Ms. Hernandez? You identify the genre to activate prior knowledge. So when you write your prediction, you're thinking about what the story could be about, okay? And you're basing this prediction on the title and any other text features you saw, like a photograph or an illustration. Then you're annotating the text. So this is where we forget that we have to do the heavy lifting in order for the D and the E part of the questions of the spade strategy to be efficient, or in other words, for it to work for us as we want it to work for us. So in these stories, and I've told you, okay, before, on the SAT, most stories, so if there's 10 stories, at least 9 out of 10 stories will be character, setting, problem, solution stories, all right? That's what you're annotating for, okay? So after you've annotated the characters, the problem, the setting, the solution, you would dissect the questions, okay? And then after you decide what type of question it is the answer in the story, or do I have to guess the answer based on what I read in the story, right? 99% out of 100. So if I have, let's say, 99 questions on the SAT, 100 questions on the SAT, 99 of them will be right in the story, okay? You're going to have to go back, underline where you got your answer from. All right? Now, evidence-wise, here is where a lot of us are making the mistake of not underlining in the story. Yes, you got the answer right. But this is what's going to happen in the third grade. In the third grade, you're going to have 2 types of questions. You're going to have a question that requires you to go back after you get the answer right. And we've done this in the classroom. After you get the answer right, you have to pick an a text evidence statement, so a sentence from the story that matches your answer. So this is why we're doing this. We're not doing this to pass the second grade. I'm preparing you for the third grade because I have taught third grade and I know how difficult teaching and learning the third grade can be for most of students, okay? So that's my rant about the spade strategy. And I know I repeat myself all the time, but the reason I do this is because I care about you guys and I really do want you to do well, okay? So now let's go on to taking care of tag. First thing we're going to do is survey the text, title. And then what do I see? I see photographs. So I already, based on this, it's a girl taking care of a dog. I predict. Make sure you have your name and your date. predict this text will be about a girl taking care of a dog. So why is this prediction important? Oh, taking care of a dog. Oops. Why does it matter? Now, based on this prediction, I'm already creating a connection to my experiences of what it is to take care of a dog or a pet, right? So, in other words, when I'm reading the story, I'll be able to relate to it and say, yeah, I know what it is to take care of a dog. You know, I know how to take care of a dog. I understand that because I have a dog. And most of us do have dogs. So we can relate better to the character in the story. All right? So make sure you're following along with your marker. Here we go. Beth and Jimmy take care of their pet dog. Name tag. Beth, character, Jimmy, character, dog, named tag. So right there, we've been exposed to the three characters in the story. Most likely the three main characters. Every day setting, they do this one every day. They put food and water in his dog dishes. Then they take him for a long walk. He also likes to play in the yard setting with them. Sometimes Jimmy throws a stick and Tag barks and runs after it. Tag always brings the stick back and wags his tail. Tag plays tug-a-rope with Beth. He pulls until Beth lets go, or she pulls until Tag lets go. Once, Beth pulled too hard and fell down. That's not a good thing if you fall down. That's a problem. Tag ran to her and licked her face until she got up. So Tag, the dog, knew he did something bad. He was playing too rough with Beth. And that's how he solved his problem, right? How do we know that? Right here. She laughed so hard, she fell down again. Tag always makes everyone laugh. Yay. All right? So, number 1. The story says that A. Beth and Jimmy like to play tug-a-rope with Tag. Yes, it does say that. But here, when they say this type of question, and you're going to see this a lot on the SAT, this story says that they want a main idea. They don't want a key detail. So key details are things, are sentences in the story that support the main idea, right? So we have to remember what the main idea is. And so far, based on this story, I could tell that they both take care of a dog. It says it right here. That's our first sentence. That's the most important sentence. They want us to know that both Beth and Jimmy take care of their dog, Tag. This is a key detail. So yes, it's in there. It supports our main idea, but it's not what the story's mostly about. They're not talking only about playing tug-a-rope, okay? Beth and Jimmy know how to care for their dog. Okay, that sounds good. Let's go to the next one. Beth likes to tug the rope with Tag until she falls down. They didn't really say that. They said once she did that. So that's not even a key detail. That's not true. It's false. So that cannot be the answer. Jimmy always takes Tag for long walks by himself. As far as I did not read that. That's not what I read. I read they take him for a long walk. Then they take him for a long walk. They. Who is they? Jimmy and Beth. They both do that. So Jimmy doesn't do it by himself. So that's false. So based on this and the fact that the first sentence tells us that that is the correct answer. All right, so now, So now I want you to start highlighting, okay, right here. And that's the answer to number 1. Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 minute to copy all that stuff that Ms. Hernandez just did. Ready, set, go. Number 2, I'm going to dissect it with you. And then you are going to find the answer in the story, highlight it, and then pick it from the choices. Where setting can you find Jimmy character, Beth character, and tag character? Most afternoons setting. Okay? Can you find them in the park? In the kitchen, at the park, in the yard, or at the playground? Go back to where you annotated the setting and highlight that answer. Okay? You have 1 minute. Number 3, what does the story say that tag does all the time? So I want you to read this question to yourself out loud and dissect it. So think about how when we dissect the daily learning target in the class and the daily end product, what does Ms. Hernandez do? We circle keywords and we write synonyms for them, right? We at least try to do 2 or 3 because synonyms will help us expand our understanding of the question, right? So what does the story say that tag does all the time? So I'm going to grade that you dissected this question and that you picked an answer that is highlighted up here. All right? So don't forget, when you're done with this, my expectation is that you submit it in your portfolio. All right? Until next time, bye!